Manchester United have just beaten Sheffield United 4-2 in the Premier League. What a game that was. I was sat there at 2-1 to Sheffield United thinking, oh my God, not again. The first half, I was actually watching it thinking, finally we're seeing Erik ten Hag ball. We're seeing what we were expecting when Erik ten Hag joined Manchester United. 80% possession, I think it was, after the first half. You know, should have probably had 2 or 3 goals in that first half. I don't think Sheffield United had a single shot. Went into half time thinking, how the hell is this game 0-0? And then obviously Sheffield United score, and it's just the same old, isn't it? But obviously I'm happy. I think Bruno Fernandes was absolutely unbelievable today. I think he had an incredible performance. Obviously scored a penalty, scored a beautiful goal from outside the box, got a beautiful assist. So fair play to Bruno Fernandes. That was the Bruno Fernandes of old. That was the Bruno that we have all loved. But yeah, unbelievable today. World class. He was by far the best player on the pitch. And I think anybody who says, oh, we let in 2 goals against Sheffield United, like, Sheffield United weren't in that game. I think the scoreline is pretty misleading. That game should have been like 6 or 7-2 based on the chances that happened. Like, we actually played pretty well, I think, overall. Like, if you look at the stats from that game, which I know everybody loves the stats, we had 72% possession. Our XG was 3 goals. Sheffield United's XG was 0.25 goals. So, like, both of their goals were just kind of freak accidents, weren't they? We had 25 shots on target. They only had 10, and we missed 3 big chances. Sheffield United missed 0. So when you look at it like that, I think I'm really happy with that performance. I know Sheffield United are bottom of the table, but still, we played Coventry City on the weekend, who were mid-table in the Championship, and we struggled. So it's small steps. I know it's not the level we all want to be. I know we want to be winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues and all the rest of it, but we're not at that level yet, guys. So you've just got to be realistic. You know, it's baby steps. If Man United had lost to Sheffield United today, then I imagine Erik ten Hag would have been sacked, which I think would have been the wrong decision, because when you look at the team that went out today, like, Onana had an absolute stinker. I'm sorry. Wan-Bissaka needs to be sold. Casemiro needs to be sold. Harry Maguire, I think, has actually been our player of the season for the second half of the season. I think he should still be sold, but I think Harry Maguire is done really, really well. So fair play to Maguire. Eriksen, definitely not good enough to be at Man United anymore. Anthony needs to go. You know, from that team that started today, there's probably only 3 players, maybe 4, that I would keep. That would probably be Mainu, Dalot, Højlund, Bruno, and Garnacho. So that's 5. Like, the rest of them, I think, should probably go. I'm really, really happy with that. And the interesting take that I wanted to speak about, and Fred's actually just mentioned it in the live chat, is it's so interesting to see that we were able to play this possession-based, slow, pragmatic style of football, which Erik ten Hag is known for, when we're not playing with Marcus Rashford. Because what Marcus Rashford used to do, or does do, is get the ball and shoot. Every single time. Get the ball, run at the defenders and lose the ball. Whereas today, we were very, very calm with the ball. We played it round. We were taking touches. We were passing the ball backwards. And I actually felt pretty relaxed in the first half, because the game was just like chilled. We were passing it around nicely. I think our pass accuracy in the first half was like 92%. Name me the last time you saw a Manchester United team string 3 successful passes together. I honestly can't remember, and I'm not even trying to be funny here. Like, Man United seems to be incapable of stringing 3 passes together, whereas today, without certain players in that team, I think Eriksen does help with that. I don't think Eriksen should be here anymore, but he does help with that kind of slowing the pace down. And it was, I think the scoreline almost flattens Sheffield United, being completely honest. We should have easily had 6 or 7 goals today, and Sheffield United don't really deserve to have any goals. I don't think they were terrible. I'm going to be honest. Sheffield United were crap. They were way worse than Coventry. Coventry were levels above. And just to sweeten it even more, Crystal Palace have just beaten Newcastle, which is really, really good for our chances of European football. Remember, we need to finish 6th in order to get Europa League football. 5th is guaranteed Europa, and then 6th place will also get Europa if Man City win the FA Cup. So if we win the FA Cup, we get Europa. If we lose the FA Cup and finish 6th, we'll get Europa. Does that make sense? So if Man City win the FA Cup, the 6th place team in the Premier League will get Europa. So the goal has to be to get 6th, and then obviously to try and win the FA Cup, which, considering how bad the season's been overall, and considering the injuries and all the rest of it, I think if someone said to me a couple of months ago that we'd finish 6th and be in an FA Cup final, I would take it, to be honest. And I know that's embarrassing, and people will say, oh, where's the levels at? Where's the standards? But We're not Manchester United of old. We're not a team who's going to be winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues anytime soon. So to finish 6th, considering how poor, the off-field, the Sancho situation, the Greenwood situation, the takeover, the injury record. Like when you look at the injuries that we had missing today, I know it's not an excuse, but Luke Shaw, Malacia, Martial, Lindelof, Martinez, Mason Mount, Camboala, Varane, Johnny Evans. We had 8 first-team players missing today. 8. And we still managed to get a win, which I know people will say it's Sheffield United. Why are you excited? But you have to be. What's the point of supporting a football team if you don't celebrate in the moments when you've won a game? I think we played well. I think Bruno was world class. I think quite a few of the players played well. I think Maguire had a really, really good game. And I think that we all need to give Maguire some credit. I'm not sat here saying that he's, going to win us the Champions League and the Premier League. Like, he isn't that level player. But for where Manchester United are at the moment, Harry Maguire has taken that responsibility. I think he shows leadership on the pitch, and I think he's done really, really well. So fair play to Maguire. I genuinely am happy for him. He got his goal today. He got his goal on the weekend. He is a walking meme. Everybody laughs at him, but you can't judge his character. You really, really can't. You can't knock his character is what I mean to say. But let's see what people are saying in the chat. Everybody who's just joined, smash a like on today's video. Liverpool have lost as well, which makes it even more sweet. Again, people saying, why you focus on your own team. We're all football fans. We love football. When a rival team loses, it makes us happy. Liverpool have lost. We have won. That's all you can ask for, isn't it? I was literally about to have my whole evening ruined, but now I've come on here. We can all celebrate together. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this evening. This is a live video, by the way, guys. Obviously, I know I'm not live as much as I used to be, but this is live. So get your comments in. I will read them out, and make sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe as well. Somebody in the chat is saying, laughing at Liverpool is very rich. Mate, you've just got to... We're football fans, Of course you're going to laugh at a rival when they lose. Manchester United can't be bantered anymore. My friends used to banter me when we were performing badly, and they'd send me a message and say, ha, ha, ha. Literally, nothing can banter me anymore with Man United. Like, we could go and play any team, and I'm not expecting us to win. Burnley on the weekend, I'm not expecting us to win. Like, that's just where we are as a team. Whereas Liverpool, announced that this is Jurgen Klopp's last season. They're going to win the quadruple. They went out of the FA Cup. They won the League Cup. They're out of the Europa League, and they're now out of the Premier League title race pretty much. So, of course, we can laugh at them. Why would we not? Like, their goal this season was to win the Premier League, and they're probably not going to do that now. So, of course, I'm going to laugh at them. Why would I not? Let's see what else we got. Fred says, I agree with your comments about Maguire. Yeah, I agree, mate. He's been unbelievable. Sick Boy says, Maguire has been twice the player since he was stripped of the captaincy. Less pressure, fair play to him. Yeah, honestly, guys, we've got to show Harry Maguire some respect. Like, he has been absolutely unbelievable over the last couple of games. He really, really has. Somebody saying, it's stupid laughing at another team who are achieving better than you. That doesn't make any sense, mate. That's completely stupid, because Liverpool's expectations for this season was to win 4 trophies. Their fans have been saying to me all year they're going to win the Premier League, the Europa League, the League Cup, and the FA Cup. That's what they've been telling me. They got knocked out of the FA Cup by Man United, who are struggling to beat Sheffield United and Coventry. They won the League Cup, but it's the League Cup. They got knocked out of the Europa League by Atalanta. That's embarrassing. And they're effectively out of the Premier League title race as well now, because they drew against us and now have just lost against Crystal Palace. So it's all levels to this, right? Nobody in this fan base thought we were going to win the Premier League this season. So we can't really be bantered, did we? 6th place and an FA Cup final. It's okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible, I don't think, personally. Let's have a look. And then he's saying, at least they had expectations. Jurgen Klopp's been there for 8 years. Erik ten Hag's been here for 18 months. Of course you're going to expect to be winning the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp's won 1 Premier League in 8 seasons. Of course, their goal every season should now be to win the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp is regarded as one of the greatest managers of all time by people. Like, I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about Liverpool too much. Like, I think it's completely fine for fans of rival clubs to laugh at other clubs when they lose games, of course, especially when Liverpool fans think they're so much better than they are. I mean, everybody in the chat seems happy about Liverpool losing. So if that's what makes you happy, which it does me as well, then that's fine. But yeah, in short, obviously, Newcastle have lost, which is, again, positive. That really, really helps our chances of European football. How many games have we got left? 5 games left of the Premier League season. Currently sat in 6th place. Is there a world where we catch up with Tottenham? Not really, I don't think so, but it doesn't really matter. At this rate, 5th and 6th are going to get Europa League, so whether we finish 5th or 6th doesn't really make a hell of a lot of difference. Obviously, from a pride perspective, I would rather finish 5th than 6th, but we're not going to catch up with Aston Villa in 4th. That's pretty much done. They're on 66 points. If we were to win all of our remaining games, we would be on 68. So there's no way we're going to catch up with Aston Villa. It's virtually impossible. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Stretford Gamer says, Kieran, to be honest, Sheffield United isn't something to celebrate about. We expected the win regardless of injuries. Side note, I'd take their striker as a backup for Højlund. He's fast and a predator. Mate, I agree with you, right? But we're not Manchester United of old. We're not. We've won 1 trophy in 6 years. So us winning a football game should be celebrated. Us winning 4-2, having, what was it? Us having 72% possession against the team. Mate, just remember, we lost at home to Bournemouth this season. We lost at home to Crystal Palace this season. We lost at home to God knows who else this season. Like, we've lost at home to worse teams or equally as bad teams as Sheffield United, realistically. I mean, where are Bournemouth in the table? Bournemouth have had a good season, to be fair, but you get my point here. We should have lost at home to Wolves on the opening game of the season. So we can't take things for granted as Man United fans, and we need to celebrate every single victory because otherwise you're just going to be miserable, you know? Because we could easily go and lose against Burnley on the weekend. Like that's not out of reach. What else have we got? Somebody in the chat says we need to get rid of most of the squad. Yeah, we do. I've said this many times on the show before. Like, we need to probably get rid of 90% of these players still, and that's maybe even being kind. Like, there's so many players in this team that need to be moved on, and I just hope and pray that Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, Sir Dave Brailsford are looking at this team and saying, we need to move on players and keep the manager, because that's what needs to happen. Sick Boy says, if you can't celebrate your team winning a game 4-2, you should probably watch a different sport. I agree, mate. You know, it's not like obviously, you can support your team however you like. If you don't want to celebrate beating Sheffield United, that's fine. But me personally, having only won 1 trophy in 6 years, the League Cup, which you know, rival fans would say isn't even a proper trophy, it's an energy drink that I've never even heard of. Like, it's the energy drink cup. To have only won 1 trophy in 6 years, I'm going to celebrate every time we win a game. I don't care. Like, I'm happy, you know? I support Man United. I want us to win games. I want to be entertained. And I think for large portions of that game today, I was entertained. You know, to come away with 72% possession when, like I said, we've lost against Bournemouth, we've lost against Crystal Palace at home, we've lost against teams that we should be beating at home, then it is what it is, isn't it? Polovolsky says we've won 1 trophy in 1 year. We have been in 3 finals in 18 months. We've won 1 trophy in the last 6 years. Like, to say we've won 1 trophy in 1 year, like, I mean, yeah, mathematically that's correct. But before that, we'd won no trophies in 5 years. So the point being is we're not a successful club anymore, guys. Like, we're not. So you've just got to take everything with a pinch of salt. Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable, really, innit? So, yeah. Edwin says a win is a win. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It's football. Yeah, it's competitive sport. Like, that's why Man City fans are bored, because they go out and watch their team every single week. They have 85% possession, and it's not even competitive, is it? You know, they're spoiled rotten, whereas we're not. But anyway, let's see what else people are saying. Zane says there's 1% chance of 5th because of Tottenham's fixtures. Let's do that quickly, shall we? Let's have a really quick look at the fixtures for the rest of the season, just to kind of compare. So Newcastle play Sheffield United on the weekend. I imagine they'll beat them. Then they play Burnley away. I imagine they'll probably beat them. They've got Brighton then. Then they've got Manchester United at home. Then they've got Brentford. Then they've got Tottenham. I mean, we've both got a really, really difficult run in, both us and Newcastle. But we have to aim for that 6th place. Like, that has to be the minimum expectation, that we get Europa League football. It means we can at least rotate in that competition. Maybe Ahmad gets some minutes. Maybe, you know, Kobe Mainoo, all of these young players get their proper opportunity in the Europa League. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I'm happy. You know, we've won the game. I'm not going to be miserable about that. 4-2. I think it was a dominating performance. I think the scoreline flattered Sheffield United, and I think, you know, it should have probably been 6 or 7-2, and both of their goals were pretty lucky. So that's my take on it anyway. I'm going to wrap the video up here. Please make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. Have a great evening, everybody. Man United have won. I think it's our first win in 6 Premier League games, is it? Let's have a look. I mean, it's something like that. Yeah, we lost to Brentford. We drew with Liverpool. We drew with Bournemouth. We drew with Brentford. I mean, I genuinely think it's our first win in 6 games. Yeah, it is. We haven't won a game in the Premier League since the 9th of March. Take that in for a second. What's that, 6 weeks ago? It's been 6 weeks since we last won a Premier League game, and we've just got our next win. So I'm happy about it. Have a good evening, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Speak soon. Thank you very much.